Breaking news at the top of this hour regarding the FBI release of its documents behind the Clinton email server investigation. I am joined now by Adam Goodman, a Republican strategist, and Jessica Ehrlich, a Democratic strategist. And I want to get right to these emails. We've had a chance now, Jessica, to go through the emails, a lot of it redacted. In fact, whole pages redacted. But the overall theme seems to be here, besides the fact that they can't find 13 of her BlackBerries, is that she really does not seem to have a grasp on what is classified information. And that really is coming through in these documents, Jessica.
Well, I mean, there is some debate within them as to, her asking whether something is classified or not, but I mean, that's what her staff is there for, to confirm whether or not something and what level they are at, which is, my understanding of what it is that she was clarifying within them. So, and we've seen even since all this has come out that actually the State Department now has changed classifications to make things, I think it's an ongoing situation there where, a little bit of a bureaucracy where things do change in that level.
And Adam, she also, somewhat blamed the concussion that she suffered and that there were times where she just didn't remember. Is that a problem for someone who's running for president?
Well, I think she's learned the value or the meaning of the word, Cheryl, today. Once you're hacked, you can't take it back. I mean, the report that came out today said it looks like the Russians got their hands on some of this. It's really her response to this, Cheryl, that is most troubling. It is either callous or dismissive, as if this doesn't really should not bother anybody. It should, because we're talking about some of the most sensitive secrets this country has, and this is on the back of all the things we've learned over the last couple weeks about how she was all but trading influence and money as if she was involved in a fire sale on American assets. I think this was a tough week and a tough moment, again, for Hillary Clinton. She owes us more than, again, just kind of the back of her hand. Well, we've already talked about that. Let's get on with something else.
Well, but Jessica, these new documents, again, released on a Friday afternoon, going into Labor Day weekend, from the FBI. I mean, it kind of, if you read through it, it kind of starts to back up what James Comey, FBI director, had told Congress, that he was questioning really her grasp on what is classified and what is not, and also, Jessica, the fact that she really was relying on her aides more than I think we realize in the handling of this information, and again, on a private server.
Well, I mean, I think that's very common with anyone in that level of a position. I mean, I worked as staff on the Hill for many years as well, and for various folks. And, one of the important things, and I mean, even Donald Trump has said this, is to surround yourself with, competent people that you can rely on, because one person can only do so much. And we've seen her travel schedule and her meeting schedule and everything else that was going on. I mean, it's an incredible level of intensity. So you have to have good quality people working for you who, when they send you things and you ask them a question, that you can rely on their answer and make sure that you're getting all the information that you need in order to make the decision. That's what all those, staffers are there for.
Okay, well, I also, as a woman who's never lost a phone, she lost 13 mobile devices and 2 iPads. I'm sorry, I know she was the Secretary of State. I just can't help it, just go, okay. I want to switch over to something else, guys. I want to switch over to what's going on with Donald Trump. So he's going to be in Detroit tomorrow. And the New York Times has basically leaked a script that shows that he's going to be meeting with this pastor in Detroit, a very prominent black pastor, but that this Q&A that's going to be taped behind closed doors, Adam, it's very scripted, and his answers to the pastor's questions were scripted by his staff. Does this present a perception problem among the African-American community for Donald Trump that he can't be trusted with going off script?
I don't think so, Cheryl, for 2 reasons. One is, I think that Donald Trump has very few opportunities between now and the election to send a very clear message to the African-American community. And number 2, let me tell you what that message is, if I may. What have we experienced in this community over the last 8 years but declining wages, a growing gap in terms of wealth, increasing poverty? It's now 46 million across the country, by the way. 1.2 million children spent a day or more in a homeless shelter last year. Declining educational standards and increasing violence. There is nothing I can think of that Secretary Clinton can bring to this community right now, the African-American community, and say, look how wonderful the job is I've done.
I'm sorry, Adam, but I didn't ask you about her. I asked you about Donald Trump. I mean, this is,
okay.
Let's talk about him, because he's, look, if you look at the polls, let's be honest, I mean, he does not rate with African-Americans. I mean, she's got that vote. He says that she is not serving the African American community fair enough. But Adam, I'm asking you, does he have a perception problem here with this leaked script? It seems he might.
I'm less concerned, Cheryl, about the approach that you're talking about. I'm more concerned about whether or not he's talking about the issues that the African-American community is looking for from Donald Trump that will make a difference in this election. And he does have to send a message to them that this is a rising tide that will lift all ships in terms of what he would do as president of the United States. He hasn't had many opportunities, Cheryl, to do that yet. This is one such opportunity, and I think he has to nail it.
Okay, well, you know, he might just in a different way, Adam, because he may just go off script. He's been known to do that, and sometimes those have been his most successful moments, and sometimes it has not been. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. Jessica Ehrlich and Adam Goodman, thanks to both of you. Have a great weekend.